And let's talk cricket now. We are in the middle of the Indian Premier League, but there are developments across the border in Pakistan. You see, there has been an India versus Pakistan battle bubbling under the surface. This relates to the Asia Cup that is to be held in Pakistan this year. India have made it clear that they will not go across the border. But now, former Pakistan captain and an influential voice, Javed Miandad, has muddied the waters with a rather bizarre comment. Let's just jog your memory first. Javed Miandad is one of Pakistan's greatest players. He is remembered for being a gritty player who would never back down from a fight. This is a player who famously hit Chetan Sharma for a six off the last ball of a final in Sharjah. It was the 18th of April 1986, the Australia Asia Cup, and Miandad's heroics coincided with Pakistan dominating this contest over the next decade, especially in Sharjah in the UAE. Miandad was part of the Pakistan team that won the 1992 World Cup in Australia, and incidentally, he bowed out of the game following a defeat against who else but India in the 1996 World Cup quarter-final in Bengaluru. Now, let's just tell you why Miandad has made it to this edition of Gravitas tonight. The 65-year-old appeared on a podcast in Pakistan recently. He was asked to comment on India's refusal to tour Pakistan over security concerns. Miandad's comments, translated, are on these lines. I'm quoting, "If you are destined to die, then you will die. Life and death are in the hands of the Almighty." You heard that right. Really, Mr. Miandad? Is that how you view the lives of sports persons? Let's just remind you why the Indian Cricket Board does not want to tour Pakistan. In 2009, the Sri Lankan team was in the country to play a test series. Terrorists opened fire on the Lankan team bus just outside Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium. 6 Sri Lankan players were injured. That bus had the likes of Mahela Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara travelling in it. 6 police personnel accompanying the team were killed along with 2 civilians. The driver of a minivan carrying the match officials also died. The tour was abandoned immediately and the Lankans were airlifted to the airport, from where they immediately flew home. That incident was the death knell for international cricket in Pakistan. Pakistan turned into a pariah and the Pakistan Cricket Board had to host international games in the UAE. Of late, teams have been touring Pakistan again and they have been provided presidential level security. But that's not enough. How do you tell players to leave that nagging doubt behind? After all, no one wants to lose their life while playing cricket or any sport whatsoever. Why should they? You see, Mr. Miandad, no one wants to die. They want to play for their countries and come back home safe. You remember what happened to the New Zealand team a year and a half ago? They were in Rawalpindi to play 3 one-dayers, but then intelligence reports surfaced that a terror attack was imminent. The Kiwis did not head to the ground. They took the first flight out with the full support of Jacinda Ardern's government. England followed suit immediately. They took the security reports at face value and cancelled a short trip ahead of the T20 World Cup in the UAE. So different rules, it seems, for England and New Zealand, and different rules for the Indian cricket team, is it, Mr. Miandad? And by the way, we don't need to remind you about the relations between India and Pakistan. And how can I not take you back to the year 2008? When terrorists from Pakistan made their way to Mumbai in India, the world watched aghast as these men held India's financial capital to ransom. They killed innocent Indians and even foreign nationals. Surely, Mr. Miandad, they did not die because it was willed by the Almighty. They died because of terrorists from Pakistan. And here you are trying to trivialize the matter. Well, perhaps you should advise your government in Pakistan to act against terrorists on its soil, and also perhaps share the details of the whereabouts of your close relative. The government of India has made it absolutely clear that the Indian team will not travel to Pakistan. Who guarantees the security of the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and others? And can your government give a signed undertaking that there will be no untoward incident? The Indian Cricket Board has a simple suggestion. The team does not fear the Pakistan cricket team. Remember the recent T20 World Cup in Australia? India won that game at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, played the Asia Cup on neutral ground and let the best team win. As far as the threats of boycotting the ODI World Cup in India later this year, let's just call out the Pakistan Cricket Board. Its former president, Ramiz Raja, said last year, remember, that his body had to learn from India and the financial clout that the BCCI wields. The PCB is dependent on funding from the International Cricket Council to stay solvent. And that money will not come if Pakistan boycotts the World Cup. Boycott by all measures, but are you ready to face the financial penalty? Tell your government to stop funding and sheltering terrorists. And then, let's talk. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.